what's up, movie nerds? This is your girl, CC, and let's get candid about The Amateur. I enjoyed this movie a lot, and that was mostly due to the creative way that the main character gets around without the CIA finding him, and the acting. Man, I haven't seen such good live action acting in a long time, and I attribute basically all of it to Rami Malek.
Bestow the tablet upon me so that I may assume command of my kingdom.
Anyway, I would say that this movie is like Black Bag in the espionage and the creative way it was written. But there was more action and more feeling, and the audience got way more concerned. This movie seemed pretty grounded in reality the entire time. You know, besides a couple of places because movies.
Movie magic.
I found that the story flowed really well, and there wasn't much in terms of language despite it being PG-13. I mean, there definitely could have been more, but I'm glad there wasn't. Plus, this movie was basically gross-free. The only thing was this one vomit scene that was like 3 seconds and it was done, and I think the vomit was off-screen. I'm not exactly sure because I covered my eyes because you can see it coming from like a mile away.
That's so obvious.
And this is all despite it being about spies and killing. Could have been more gross. Honestly, this movie took Black Bag and made it so much better. But that's just my initial review of the movie. Keep on watching to hear the full review and whether or not you want to give this movie a shot. There will be spoilers in the reasons for the rating.
You have been warned.
And let's get this party started.
I mean, really, let's do this, mother!
First up is acting, and I give that a 9 out of 10. You know, the only reason why I don't give this a 10 out of 10 is because I think Rami Malek takes his acting up to an 11 while everybody else is at an 8. I mean, the others were still great, but Rami Malek is just perfect for this. His acting prowess was shown full force in this movie, and it was just amazing.
He was such a good actor, so convincing.
The way the character was written, his little mannerisms, the subtle facial expressions that he gave, the big expressions that he gave, it was all just so perfectly executed. He sucked you into the story and just kept you there, like you were being drawn to it, and it wouldn't let you go.
Take me.
Also, the others in this movie did their job quite well and still kept you on the edge of your seat even when Rami Malek wasn't on screen. But we are glad he was on screen a lot, you know what I mean?
He's good looking.
Now for the story and script, which I give a 7 out of 10. I think that the story was very good, but I think there was a couple of things that could have been written better. I think that killing off one of the characters, which we will get to in the reasons for the rating, was unnecessary.
Why'd she have to die?
And another death of another character just didn't make much sense. Also, there were 2 scenes where Rami Malek's character was goaded into pointing a live gun at 2 different individuals and told to shoot them because they figured that he wouldn't have the guts to do so.
You ain't got the nerve.
And he didn't. But how could you realistically play with your life like that? Because people backed into corners are unpredictable. There's no way that they'd be okay with giving him an actually loaded gun without another safeguard in place. So it just didn't make much sense. But I understand it for the story to establish Rami's character as someone who isn't capable of killing outright.
I can't shoot anybody point blank.
Plus, the big finale at the end of the movie was kind of strange, only because it wasn't as realistic as the rest of the movie. I think that Rami Malek's character should have had more safeguards in place to make sure that he was alright in the situation that he placed himself in. Also, one character at the end didn't have any repercussions, and that just seemed kind of strange, because why?
You're just gonna let him go?
But these are really small nitpicks for the whole entirety of the movie that was just executed amazingly well. It's just when you have something done so well, the little nitpicks become more obvious. You know what I mean? So other than those things, I think that the story flowed naturally, with connecting events that translated into an understandable and deserved conclusion.
Now you see, that was worth it, wasn't it?
Now for the theme, which I give an 8 out of 10. The theme of this movie is definitely revenge, with some survival sprinkled in there. Now, Rami Malek's character lost his wife in the beginning of this movie due to senseless violence, and by goodness was he gonna get the people responsible for it, whether through the CIA or by his own means. And that's not a spoiler, that was literally stated in the trailer.
Hey, no spoilers.
And he totally did it and then some. And it was awesome. It works for this movie and makes sense every step of the way in this story. Plus, he doesn't let revenge overrun him completely.
No,
Nick, don't do this. Fight it.
Now for the details, which I give an 8 out of 10. The details in this movie were very good, and I didn't even see any continuity errors. Plus, there was natural progression to certain things in this movie, like scratches on Malix's character's neck, fading away slightly during the course of this movie, and also the subtle growth of facial hair on Malix's character due to him running from the CIA.
You can't run forever!
You know he's not gonna be able to cut his beard to keep everything all clean shaven and nice. I loved all of the cool tech too, and how Malik's character used them all, and how it was shown for cinematic purposes. He was a very intelligent character, and they didn't just show that by explicitly saying it. They actually showed it, and it was really cool. I also think all of the locations worked well for this movie, and all of the sets were created very well.
The attention to detail is excellent.
Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the full review. So here's your spoiler warning.
Spoiler alert.
And let's get into the reasons for the rating. This is a PG-13 action thriller, and I agree with that rating 100%. So let's talk about that. First up, there was no sex content in this movie whatsoever.
Drugs and alcohol.
Now, a couple of characters had some beers here and there in certain scenes, plus there was a nightclub scene where Rami Malek's character took some shots due to wanting to calm himself down, steal his nerves.
Just calm the pants off me a couple times.
No one got drunk, and I also didn't notice any drugs in this movie, so that's nice. There might have been some cigarettes here and there. I could have not seen those. That seems like a thing that would be in this movie due to the fact that he was in France at one point.
The gross stuff.
Like I said before, Malek's character did vomit in one scene, but it was like 3 seconds tops, and then it was done.
Ew.
You can see it coming, so you can look away. And the only reason why he did that was because he was so worked up and just all of his emotions and junk over lying and confronting his superiors at work. Nothing else in this movie was gross.
Language.
There were only 10 swears in this movie. 10! And it's a PG-13 movie. There definitely could have been more. Thumbs up for that. There were 3 S words, 3 A words, 2 lords' names in vain, and 2 other various swears.
Time for violence!
This is probably where the PG-13 rating comes in, even though the violence in this movie isn't a lot, and it's not that intense, because Malek's character was mostly running and trying to find his next target, so let's go over it. There was a hostage situation in the beginning of the movie which resulted in Malek's character's wife being killed.
You killed my father.
And also this situation did show 2 officers being shot, 1 definitely dying. But all of this was through CCTV footage, so it was like kind of grainy, you didn't see much, you didn't see her die, so. Malek's character was also slapped twice.
Did you just slap me?
Now Malek's character's first victim was a girl who was being choked by pollen inhalation because she had asthma. But then he let her out because she wasn't giving the information, because she couldn't breathe, and she surprised him, knocked him down, had a couple of scratches on his neck due to that, and then got away, which then resulted in her running through the street and then getting hit by a car, resulting in her death. A bomb was set off in a bathroom for a diversion. No one was hurt, no injuries, no deaths. Malek's character's second victim was a man who was in a pool who then fell to his death because the pool was suspended between 2 roofs and the glass was shattered. You only saw the pool collapsing, not the body hitting the ground or anything. There was then a fight between 2 CIA agents, resulting in one being shot in the head and then one being shot in the stomach. The person who got shot in the head, he died, obviously. And that was one of the moments where I was like, I don't get it. Why? Because why would they fight each other just randomly in the middle of the movie? It just didn't make much sense. I think maybe I missed something.
I don't get it.
There was then a gunfight that resulted in the death of the girl who was helping Malek's character. This was the death that I thought was unnecessary. She could have survived. It's just sad. Lastly, Malek's character was knocked out in a scene by being hit on the back of the head. There was also a lot of guns being brandished in this movie, pointed at people, and talks of other violence. And that's it.
Prepare to die.
Overall, I give this movie an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed this movie a lot, and I think that it's a worthwhile watch. This movie took an unconventional route of killing the people who killed my wife.
You killed my wife, and I want to know why.
By putting a computer nerd in front of the wheel and seeing how he would have done it instead of a roided out, gun-toting, violence-loving freak.
I'm buff.
And it was really cool. I loved all of the techie spy stuff and showing how intelligence and being crafty can get you so much farther than just a gun and a vendetta.
I'm going to kill them all, sir.
It was also nice to see the rot that had creeped into the CIA getting blotted out in one fell swoop just because you messed with the wrong guy. I recommend this movie, especially for Rami Malek fans.
Wrap that up and give it to a child on Christmas, because we're done.
Thank you guys so much for watching this review. If you want to see me review any other movie, please comment down below. Or comment anything, I will answer. And like and subscribe so I can keep doing videos like this for you. Every Friday I have a new review, so if you want to see something specific, please comment. Also, Mondays were 1-minute stub reviews, but we've gone through them all, basically. So Mondays will maybe be something else. We'll see what we're going to put in there next. If you have anything that you want to suggest, please comment down below, really. And if you want to see any of the old 1-minute stub reviews as real reviews, maybe I'll do that from Mondays. You know what to do, comment. Again, thank you so much for watching, and just remember, right here at Candid Cinema, it's okay to talk, it's okay to text, and I will CC you later. Bye!